Sure, here's an 800-word expanded version of Scene 1 without adding a heading or scene title, as you requested. Dash dash dash. The hallway buzzed with the low hum of conversation, parents filing in and out of classrooms while colorful student artwork decorated the walls. Jack Turner adjusted the collar of his shirt for the third time, the fabric still stiff from a rushed ironing job. He wasn't used to events like this, school functions, teacher meetings. Not since Maya's mother left. He glanced down at the small crayon drawing in his hand, Maya's "All About My Dad" poster. It said he liked fixing cars and making pancakes on Saturdays, and underneath, in large block letters, "My dad is the best." He folded it once, carefully, and tucked it into his coat pocket. Room 2B. That was Maya's class. He stepped in and was greeted by the warm scent of dry erase markers and classroom coffee. A few other parents lingered inside, talking to the teacher or flipping through their kids' notebooks. Jack gave a polite nod to another dad in a business suit before spotting Ms. Callahan at the front of the room. She waved him over with a friendly smile. "Mr. Turner, I'm so glad you could make it." "Thanks. Just Jack is fine," he replied with a half smile. "Maya's doing really well this semester," Ms. Callahan said, pulling out a folder from the stack on her desk. "She's curious, asks great questions, and she's got a big heart." Jack relaxed a little. "She gets that from her mom." "The questions, I mean. The heart, maybe." Ms. Callahan smiled knowingly but didn't press. "There's someone new you should meet. She's been helping us launch the new STEM initiative." Jack turned as footsteps echoed behind him. A woman entered the room, her heels soft against the tiled floor, her presence commanding but effortless. She was dressed in a sleek navy blazer and black slacks, with a silk blouse underneath. Her hair, still that same deep chestnut brown, was pulled into a loose low bun. She looked confident, polished, but there was a softness in her eyes. He stared. Time faltered. "Jack," she said, stopping mid-step. His breath caught. Liv. It was her. Olivia Martin. The girl he'd fallen in love with senior year. The one who left for college in New York with big dreams and a scholarship in her back pocket. She looked older, sure. More refined. But it was her. The curve of her mouth when she smiled. The slight tilt of her head when she was surprised. Ms. Callahan looked between them, intrigued. "So you two know each other?" Olivia didn't take her eyes off Jack. "We did. A long time ago." Jack rubbed the back of his neck, chuckling softly. "Back when I had hair that listened to me." Olivia laughed, and something in the room shifted. That laugh, it took him straight back. To late-night drives, to sitting on the hood of his old truck staring at the stars, to whispered promises made in the dark. "Well, this just got interesting," Ms. Callahan said, amused. "I'll give you two a minute. There's coffee in the lounge if you'd like." Jack hesitated, his brain catching up with the moment. "You want to grab a cup?" he asked, his voice low. Olivia tilted her head slightly, amused. "Only if you promise not to ask how many zeros are on my pay stub." He smirked. "Deal." They walked out side by side, silence settling between them like an old friend. The hallway felt emptier now, quieter, as they passed rows of finger-painted turkeys and solar system models. "I didn't know you had a kid," Olivia said after a beat. Jack nodded. "Maya. She's 8, smart, stubborn. She says I overcook pancakes." "I saw her project on the wall," Olivia said softly. "She drew you with a wrench and a cape." He chuckled. "Yeah, she's got a flair for drama." Olivia smiled, then stopped walking. Jack turned back to face her. "I didn't expect this," she said. "To see you here, like this." "Neither did I," Jack admitted. "Figured you were off in some high-rise office downtown, saving the world with spreadsheets." "Close," she said with a small smile. "Tech CEO, 6 floors up, good coffee, terrible lighting." He whistled under his breath. "Well damn, you really did it." She shrugged, her expression softening. "I built something, but it gets lonely at the top sometimes." Jack looked at her closely, as if seeing her for the first time all over again. She nodded toward the staff lounge. "That coffee still on offer?" "Yeah," he said, opening the door for her. "But I should warn you, it's mostly brown water with ambition." She laughed again, and it lit up her whole face. They walked in together, and for the first time in years, Jack felt something stir. Not nerves, not confusion, but something else. Something old, something unfinished. As the door closed behind them, neither noticed the crayon drawing slipping out of Jack's pocket and fluttering to the floor, Maya's picture of her dad holding a wrench and smiling under a sunny sky. Someone had drawn a second figure beside him in pencil, faint but unmistakable, a woman in heels, holding his hand. The parking lot was almost empty now, the distant hum of traffic barely audible beneath the quiet stillness of night. The wind tugged at the edge of Jack's jacket as he leaned against his dusty old truck, coffee cup in hand, still warm but mostly untouched. Overhead, the streetlights cast a dull yellow glow that shimmered off the windshield. The school building behind them loomed quietly, lights turning off one by one. Olivia stood a few feet away, her blazer folded neatly over her arm, the blouse underneath catching the light every time she moved. She didn't look like she belonged in this small-town parking lot. Everything about her said power, precision, success, but the way she stood, relaxed and silent beside him, said something else entirely. They hadn't spoken much since leaving the staff lounge. A few quiet jokes, a shared laugh. Now, they were just there, existing in the same space again. Jack finally broke the silence. "You still drink your coffee with too much cream." Olivia smiled without looking at him. "And you still drink it like motor oil." He smirked. "Some things don't change." She turned toward him slowly, leaning back against the passenger's side door, arms crossed loosely. "A lot of things did, though." He nodded once, eyes on the sky. "Yeah." The breeze picked up slightly. Olivia tucked a strand of hair behind her ear. "I heard about Maya," she said quietly. "After I saw the name on the roster, I asked Ms. Callahan." Jack looked over. "Yeah, she's everything. Smart as hell. Keeps me in check. She looks like you. She's got her mom's fire, though. And her laugh." Olivia watched him for a long moment, her expression unreadable. "I'm sorry, Jack, about what happened with her." "Me too," he said, voice even. "But it's been a while. We've figured it out, Maya and me." A long pause settled between them, not heavy, just thick with unsaid things. "I almost got married last year," Olivia said suddenly, her voice softer now, as if she wasn't sure why she said it out loud. Jack turned slightly, one eyebrow raised. She shrugged, looking away. "Harvard grad, consultant, liked jazz. My board loved him, but you didn't." She smiled faintly. "No, I think I was trying to prove something. That I could do it all. Build an empire and still have the picture-perfect life." Jack tilted his head. And I walked out 2 weeks before the wedding. Spent the next month in sweatpants eating dry cereal out of the box and watching documentaries about jellyfish." He laughed, shaking his head. "That sounds horrible." "It was kind of perfect," she said with a small laugh. "It reminded me that I don't want something that just looks right on paper." Jack's expression softened. "And now you're here." "Yeah." She looked up at the school. "I took on the STEM program because it felt like something real. Hands-on, impactful. I didn't expect it to drag me back into my past." Jack sipped from his cup, then stared down at the ground. "You left fast back then." "I had to," she said. "Scholarship, internship, opportunity after opportunity. I told myself I'd come back. That I'd find a way to keep us going. You didn't even say goodbye." "I was scared," she admitted. "I thought if I saw you again, I'd stay." He nodded slowly. "I waited, you know. For a while." "I know." Her voice was barely above a whisper. They stood quietly, the wind picking up again. Leaves danced across the pavement. "I thought about you," she said suddenly. "All the time, even when I was in rooms with CEOs, giving talks, signing million-dollar contracts. I'd think about Friday nights on your truck bed. That stupid mix CD you made. How you always knew when I needed to be quiet, and when I needed to be held." Jack looked at her then. Really looked. The girl he'd loved was still in there. Just sharper now, wiser, and still heartbreakingly beautiful. "You know," he said, "I'm not rich. I'm barely even stable half the time. My work boots have holes. The sink leaks. Maya eats too much cereal and I sometimes fall asleep reading to her." Olivia stepped closer. "I'm not here for rich." He looked at her, uncertain. "So why are you here, Liv?" She took a small step, just enough to be standing right in front of him. "Because I saw your name on that parent sheet, and for the first time in a long time, I felt something pull me back. Not just to this town, but to you." He didn't speak, couldn't. "I don't want perfect," she continued. "I want real, messy, loud, honest." Jack blinked, a slow breath filling his chest. Then he said, softly, "You really mean that?" "I do." A quiet beat passed, like the world was holding its breath. Then he reached out, his hand brushing hers. She didn't move away, fingers laced together, familiar and new all at once. The streetlight above them flickered slightly, then steadied. He smiled, a little crooked, a little disbelieving. You want to come by tomorrow? Maya's got a volcano science project that's mostly just a baking soda disaster. She grinned. I'd love that. They stood there a while longer, hands still intertwined, not rushing anything. Just two people rediscovering something that had never truly been lost, just waiting, quietly, to be found again.